Chapter 53. Jiang wakes up, retreat. Sima Feng let out a loud shout and quickly retreated towards the back in his flying boat. The aura of the immortal execution sword was too fierce, so fierce that the sword chair that accompanied it all the way through washed all of some of the mountains and rivers on the earth into the shape of a sword. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The long swords on Sima Feng, well as a kind of Dahon officials, steeply chirped, as if they were answering the arrival of the immortal punishing sword and were worshipping the monarch of swords. As the great power passed by, the crowd only felt their whole body's hair explode in sweat. Even Gu Hai, at this moment, his face changed, and a ferocious and destructive aura rushed straight to his heart. Tongshan's sect leader. Gu Hai's eyes narrowed. In the distance, the immortal execution sword's sword dipper had already arrived close by, charging straight at that red sun. Wow! The golden crow's giant claw descended from the sky, and the same scorching hot aura pressed down. As the golden crow's golden claw fell, many of the cultivators who had fled out of the city couldn't even lift their heads from the suppression, merely revealing a look of horror as they fled in all directions. Golden Crow's claw, the immortal execution sword dipper, nearly at the same time to the place of the red sun. The giant claws of the Golden Crow blatantly clawed at the top of the red sun. The immortal execution sword dipper also brazenly held on to the southern part of the red sun. Above the giant claw, gushing out rolling flames, immortal execution sword dipper around, flat floating hundreds of millions of small sword chair around the immortal execution sword, seems to drag the red sun away. Rumble. The red sun trembled slightly, as if it was going to be pulled into directions by two huge forces. Steeply, in the southwest, another huge blood-colored handprint rushed straight towards it. Boom. Where the blood-colored handprint arrived, the void was steeply dyed a blood-red color, and the sky-covering blood clouds shrouded this a right hand palm that blatantly grabbed onto the red sun. Great blood cloud hand. Great Emperor Shu of the Great Yuan dynasty. He also wants to compete for the red sun, Sima Changkong said in shock. Lin Wana, however, narrowed her eyes slightly. Great Emperor Shu. With his cultivation, he can project far away. This is the power of projection. Great Emperor Shu is still in the Kyodo, the same as sect leader Tongshan and Taiyi, projecting. Wouldn't that mean he has broken through the bottleneck? Sima Feng's face changed. Upper Heavenly Palace, Lin Wana's face sank. Boom. The three forces were at a stalemate, who all wanted to take away this red sun, which trembled slightly, unmoved in general. Buzz. Steeply, the red sun erupted with a rolling red light, and thousands of dry drought demon flames once again erupted from the sky, as if it wanted to break free from these three powerhouses' contention. Suction. Steeply, the female emperor in the underground palace once again sucked. Rumble. The rolling drought demon fire was suddenly sucked into the female emperor's nose. Gingerbird. Lin Wana's face sank. Zhang Bian's closed eyes could be seen turning slightly, as if he was about to wake up. Taiyi, your cultivation. You've improved again. Steeply, a cold hum came from the south. The voice was magnificent, and in an instant, it exploded in heaven and earth in general, and billions of swords and chair were violently trembling, and everyone's hearts were palpitating, as if a palm had bombarded and gripped the hearts of everyone. The voice of sect leader Tongshan. Gu Hai's face sank. He was already in the third level of the Yuanying realm, but facing the Tongshan sect leader's strength, it seemed as if the difference was too great, and that infinite distance between them actually pressed down on his heart. Refinement. Hehe, Tongxia. I had torn 3 Tongxia sect masters alive. You want to be that fourth? A loud shout came from the sky all of a sudden. Boom. The sound once again pressed everyone for a while, making it difficult to breathe. Gu Hai looked at Immortal Wana and revealed a hint of surprise. Taiyi, what does he mean? Lin Wana nodded with a bitter smile. It's true. The Tongshan sect master, who had 3 terms, fought with Taiyi and was torn apart by Taiyi's life. However, those were the weakest Tongshan, whereas Taiyi was the reincarnation of a divine soul. There is only one Taiyi, reincarnated. Yes, demonic beasts have the special ability of demonic beasts, the 3 major palace masters of the Sun God Palace, from 10,000 years ago, have always existed. They have just been reincarnating and reincarnating non-stop, just like that Nuwa Ho, Nuwa whose name is Tai Nuwa. It is heard that in the past, she was reincarnated in the heavenly remnant realm. However, it is heard that Tai Nuwa was a bit adventurous on the occasion of her reincarnation. The earthly soul and the divine, they separated, and she wanted to preserve the cultivation of her previous life. So Lin Wanna explained. Gu Hai's eyes narrowed. He immediately remembered Empress Nuwa. Ziru's soul. Is Empress Nuwa reincarnated? The Sun God Palace, the depth is extremely deep, because the 3 great palace masters have existed since before the ages. That's why this Taiyi, too, is extremely powerful. There were once 3 Tongshan sect masters that were killed by him, Lin Wanna said bitterly. The 4th term, ha ha ha, you can come and try. Don't you remember who I am? The battle of beheading Wu Hai. It seems like you've forgotten all about it. Back then I could behead you. Now I can do the same. Humph. A cold snort came from sect leader Tongshan. Buzz. The claws of the golden crow trembled violently. It's you, the first Tongshan sect master. Taiyi's voice gave a steep pitch. What? Lin Wanna's face also changed abruptly. What's wrong? Gu Hai was puzzled. The first generation, the Tongshan sect master, is actually the first generation reincarnation. In the legend, the most powerful Tongshan sect master, this, Lin Wanna said in shock. The most powerful Tongshan sect master, Gu Hai said doubtfully. I have a record in my Wanshu Dao sect. The first Tongshan sect master was the most powerful. Rumor has it that back then, he was so powerful that he could have sprinted to the immortal realm, but he didn't. Instead, he chose to reincarnate, leaving behind a sword seed, which would be passed down to the successive Tongshan sect masters. And that sword seed carries with it the first generation's sword Dao will, which is passed down from one generation to the next, and accumulates, and all the generations of Tongshan sect masters pass their sword Dao will down. But the new Tongshan sect master could only absorb a small part of it, and most of it could not be comprehended. But the first generation was different, his sword seed. Surely he could comprehend it all by himself. Not only has he returned, but he has also absorbed the sword Dao of all the generations of Tongshan. Wouldn't he be the strongest Tongshan? Lin Wanna said gruffly. You're from the Wanshu Daoist cult, and you actually don't know? Gu Hai said doubtfully. I don't know. I only know that this generation's Tongshan sect master is very cold and incomparably strong. I didn't realize that he is, Fairy Winner bitterly said. Back off. Sect leader Tong Tia let out a cold shout. HMPH. The me of that year is not the me of today. I can tear apart 3 Tongshan. I can likewise tear apart you. It's you who will back off. Tai once again let out a cold snort. Neither of the 2 great powerhouses would allow it. The 2 of you have crossed the border. This is the boundary of my great Yuan imperial dynasty. My great Yuan's things. The 2 of you better not think about it. From where you came. Go back. The voice of great Emperor Shu came steeply from the palm of the bloody hand. Tongtia and Taiyi both had a wave of annoyance in their voices. Emperor Dynasty Great Emperor, humph, you also want to compete with me? Taiyi said in a cold voice. Unconscionable. HMPH, sect leader Tongshan, out a cold snort. Boom. The 3 parties exerted their power at the same time. Emperor Shu's bloody palm was actually not inferior in power to the 2 in general. This is my great Yuan territory, closest to me, My projections power, naturally, is the greatest. Humph, I respect the two of you as seniors, but, in my imperial dynasty, I can't allow others to be reckless yet. Great Emperor Shu's voice carried a domineering aura. Unbridled, bold. Tongshan and Taiyi both let out a roar. Aren't you afraid that I'll level your great Yuan imperial dynasty? Taiyi's voice came out, and there was an incomparable coldness in his voice. Come on, I am in Daiwan, waiting for the two of you, but right now, this red sun is mine, in my Daiwan. No one will ever take it away. Humph. Great Emperor Shu let out a cold snort. Rumble. None of the three great powerhouses would allow it, and in the high sky, they pulled and tugged at the round of red sun, all wanting to take it away. The red sun trembled, and the void trembled. However, at this moment, the body of Zhongzhen in the underground palace trembled abruptly. Buzz. Zhong Yan's eyes opened abruptly, and in an instant, a scorching red light erupted from his eyes. In the blink of an eye opening, nearly all the cultivators in the surroundings were suddenly fixed there for an instant. As if in that instant, everyone's souls were violently shaken, shaking everyone into a daze. The good thing is that the time is very short. All the people can once again see everything around. Gu Hai's soul was also almost shaken, but the heavenly Zun divine seal in the space between his eyebrows violently suppressed the heavenly exterminating stone and also stabilized Gu Hai's soul. Even so, Gu Hai's face sank when he looked at the fierce-faced Zhong Bian. Zhong Bian woke up and his eyes opened, but he twisted his head to look at the four directions, before raising his head to look at the red sun high in the sky. The golden crow claw, the immortal execution sword, and the bloody palm were pulling on the red sun. They were grabbing Zhong Bian's treasures. Zhong Zhen's eyes gradually turned cold. Taiyi, Tongxia, and this unknown thing. Hey, you guys are so bold. Today, you actually dared to come and rob me of my things. Since that's the case, then no one should leave, Zhong Bian said in an ice-cold tone. As he spoke, Zhong Bian steeply opened his mouth and spat out blood-colored fangs, his eyes releasing red light. Roar, there was a fierce, heaven-shaking roar. It was as if there was a monstrous suction force in Zhong Bian's mouth, and in an instant, it sucked towards the immortal execution sword deity, the golden crow claw, and the bloody palm. Rumble. It was as if space and time were distorted, and that side of the heavens and earth, all of it was heading towards Zhong Yan's mouth. Buzz buzz buzz. The immortal execution sword deity, the golden crow claw, and the bloody palm all trembled for a moment. Zhong Bian, how dare you? Zhong Bian, you seek death. Taiyi and Tongshan's furious voices came once again. Roar. Zhong Bian opened her mouth and sucked violently, the immortal execution sword dipper, along with thousands of sword chair, the golden crow claw along with endless golden flames, and the bloody palm, along with rolling blood clouds, were all instantly swallowed by Zhong Bian in one mouthful. Hiss, tilde 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 tilde. She swallowed the projections of Taiyi, Tongshan, and Shu. Lin Wana was surprised. The projections of the three great powerhouses that had just overwhelmed countless cultivators in all directions with their aura were actually swallowed in one gulp by this female emperor. Qinzi Bai, Zhao Great King, and countless cultivators all had their scalps tingling at this moment. That was sect leader Tongshan, Taiyi, and Emperor Shu. Who was this woman? However, they saw that Zhongya once again opened his mouth and sucked on the sky. Buzz. The huge red sun slowly fell, slowly falling towards Zhong Wei's mouth, as if Zhong Wei had opened his mouth and swallowed a round of sun. Zhong Bian. Gu Hai raised an eyebrow. Countless cultivators in the four directions looked at Zhong Bian and were appalled. When this woman came out, I don't know how many disasters she would bring to the world.